Let's make some vintage and cottage style crafts. For this one, I have this sign I got back at Halloween. I'm going to remove this tombstone element here that's sticking up, and I'm going to make a template. I had a feeling I might need this decorative line around here later for what I'm putting on the sign, so I went ahead and just made a template of that in case I needed it. I tore off as much paper as I could, and then what was left, I wetted that down, let that sit, and scraped off the rest of that paper. I have one of these frames out of an 8x10 canvas from the Dollar Tree. I removed some of the staples, but I left some of them as long as they weren't sticking up too badly. And I'm going to use this frame to make a pocket on the front of the sign. My miter shears cut through that frame very easily, and I'm just sizing using these leftover pieces to make spacers so that the pocket's a little bit deeper. I used a combination of Titebond glue and wood glue to put these pieces together to make the pocket. I realized after making that one line of glue that I wasn't going to need glue there, so I wiped that up. There was just going to be a space there. So I just sandwiched those extra pieces in between the larger pieces of the frame. Now to cover the bottom, I'm just using one of these jumbo craft sticks that I got from Walmart, cutting that down with scissors. I did some measuring and made a mark so I would know where to put the pocket, and I just attached it to the sign with, again, some Titebond glue and wood glue. I set some bottles on that for some weight and let that glue set up. I printed off a few 8x10s, or several 8x10s from Walgreens with some public domain art, just some art that's very old, and I put the name of the artist for the one that I'm using up on the screen there. I like to get prints from Walgreens oftentimes when I'm going to be using them for crafting because they don't necessarily have to be super high quality prints. And odds are when you go to get prints from Walgreens, they're having some sort of sale, which makes it even more affordable. I don't like to use very expensive prints in crafting because you just never know if a craft might turn out, then you wasted money on a high quality print. I cut out some notches so that this print would fit down inside the pocket, and I did end up using that template that I made from the original Halloween sign to help me out to make this print in the shape of the sign. I did use Mod Podge to attach the print to the sign. Now I sort of wish that I would have, before Mod Podging the print, went ahead and painted the sign the color that I wanted to paint it. Sometimes I don't do things in exactly the correct order, but it worked out fine. For the front of the pocket, I'm using one of these wood planks from the Dollar Tree out of their Crafter's Square section. I'm using English Ivy Green from Apple Barrel to paint all around the print, all of the wood parts on this sign. The ends of the frame where I cut them were pretty rough, so I put some spackling on the ends there and then sanded that once it's set up. The cut edge, I hadn't planned on doing this originally, but the cut edge on that print didn't look super nice, so I used some half beads that were self-adhesive and put those around the print. I painted them with the same green beforehand. The front of the pocket needed something, and I thought about printing something off and putting on there, but I decided to do a decorative element on here like I did with my spoon rack quite a few videos back. And I put a half wooden bead on the front there, and also 2 wood biscuits that you can get in any hardware store. They're for joining wood together, and I just put some spackling in those grooves to make it smoother on the front so those wouldn't stand out so much. And then I used some Titebond glue to attach these, and then I gave them a coat of the same green. I really love how this turned out. If you wanted to, you could use some extra adhesive on those half beads, but they were pretty good quality and they're on there. None of them have tried to come up yet, but you could use maybe some super glue on them or something like that if you don't trust the adhesion of those self-adhesive half beads. You can skip this part, but I did want to distress it and age this up a little bit, and so I used some antique wax. I just love how this looks in my craft room. I'm going to keep it in my craft room, and I think for now, as long as it's big enough, I'm going to store any letters that I get from you guys. And I already have some Christmas cards in there that I got from y'all this last Christmas. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any future videos. This one, I have this candle holder from the Dollar Tree, and I have some vine ribbon. I believe I got it from Amazon, but it's been so long I don't remember. I'm sure regular craft stores have some trim like this that looks like a vine. And I also have some plain, straight, thin ribbon that I got at Christmas time. And I'm going to be painting these ribbons here. I gave them a base coat of truffle chalk paint, and then I'm going over that with this metallic, I believe it's called Pure Gold by Folk Art. And at first I was going to use Rub and Buff, and I thought, well, it would look just about the same if I used some acrylic paint and it would be cheaper. So I went that route. I taped off the bottom of the candle holder, and I gave it a base coat of the truffle, and the same as the trim, I gave it a coat of gold. Actually, quite a few coats of gold. Now I'm going to cut the ribbon into pieces, and you could do this however you like. You could, do sort of stair steps and make the ribbon be shorter than taller, and do whatever sort of pattern you like. However it looks good to your eye. And then I was just sort of planning out what I was going to do, but I'm going to cut them all the same length. And then once I get them glued on, I'm going to cover up the bottoms, the cut bottoms of each piece, with the straight ribbon. Just to make things easier on myself, I used some double-sided tape to hold all the pieces of the vines in place while I glued them, and then I'll go back, remove the tape once the glue sets up, and then glue the tops of each of the pieces. I used Titebond glue to glue the vines on there, and it does dry clear. I used some rubber bands just to hold it all in place while the glue is setting up. I did go back and do some touch-up painting on the pieces of ribbon and along the bottom. And I used some 100% acetone to clean up any glue that got out from underneath the pieces of ribbon. I did go ahead and give a coat of Mod Podge to just the bottom so that it would be a little more durable and it'd be less likely that the paint would scratch up. For this one, I have this spatula that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going, this is the first time I made this craft. I just dove in. It was something in my brain. I thought I would give a try. Seeing how durable it was, and it is pretty durable, but it would bend for me. I took some tin snips to get the cut going, but it wouldn't cut all the way through. But once it got a cut in it, I was able to bend it back and forth, and then it broke pretty easily. You could use several things for the main component of the sign. I'm making an old school looking price sign that you would see in a store. I'm using E6000. Over the years, I've found that E6000 does pretty good with metal. I chose this game that comes in a metal tin from the Dollar Tree, so not a whole lot of money went into this craft. It was a little bit top heavy, so for a decorative element as well as for weights, I'm going to glue these two magnets to the base here. And I did get those magnets from the Dollar Tree. I painted this with some champagne bronze from Rust-Oleum. It was too cold outside to spray paint, so I had to do the old put the thing in a box method and just try not to get spray paint in my craft room. The glue held very nicely. I removed the tape once that glue set up, and I did do some distressing with some antique wax. Using these box corners, I can leave a link to those in the description box if anyone's interested. I'm going to make some magnets just by simply gluing these Dollar Tree magnets on the back of these box corners. They are metal as well. You don't have to use glue, really, if you just put the magnet on your sign and then put the box corner on the magnet, it stays pretty well. But I love that this is now a magnetic sign where I can change out what's in it. I can put photos in it or whatever. I went online and image searched. I was going to design something, but I thought I'm just going to image search and see what pops up. But I searched for vintage price sign, and so this was a really cute sign that popped up, and I just printed that out and put that in there for now. This is in my laundry room. You can see I have it styled my style, and in the laundry room I have my floss waters hanging up, and I thought I'm just tired of these sore thumb floss waters hanging over here in the corner, not matching anything else in the room. I get my floss waters from Dollar Tree, of course, but you could go about this several different ways, and I thought about making a floss water from scratch. And I might do that in another video, making the handle wooden, but I decided just to make it easy on myself for now and just give this Dollar Tree floss water a makeover. So this is very cheap and very easy. I'm just going to cover the Dollar Tree floss water with the Dollar Tree faux leather that you get in the crafter square. I did leave a little bit of a space around the plastic floss water inside of there so that you couldn't see that orange so well. I'd also paint the edges of it so the color wouldn't stand out so much, but I thought it ended up looking just fine the way I did it. I was going to do math and measuring, but I was glad I looked over and saw that those game pieces from that last craft that I did, and I thought I could use that as a template to make the dots where I'm going to punch the holes in the floss water. I gave the handle a base coat of truffle chalk paint and went over that with pure gold leaf rub and buff. This turned out even better than I thought it would. I really like the way it looks now hanging up in my laundry room. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed these vintage style crafts. I mentioned in the last video that I would probably include the scrunchie craft that I didn't use in the last video in my next one, but I decided to put an everyday decor video in between those two Valentine's ones to give a break to those that might not be so interested in Valentine's Day crafts. That made sense to my brain anyway, so that craft should be in the next one. I did want to say a special thank you for the Christmas cards I got that I mentioned in that first craft. I've started a card list for next year, and I'm so looking forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.